Ready to clear out some clutter? Donate your new and gently used items to the Habitat for Humanity Portland Region Restores. Help keep usable items out of our local landfill, plus it's tax deductible. You can donate everything from appliances to furniture, building materials, to lighting, paint, housewares, and more. And you can request a donation pickup online or drop off your donation at any of the Restore locations in Beaverton, Gresham, or Portland. Visit pdxrestore.org to learn more. That's pdxrestore.org. Plan a winter wellness getaway before the chaos of hosting and holiday travel begins. Salishan Coastal Lodge offers endless ways to nurture your mind, body, and spirit. Start your mornings with complimentary yoga, unwind at the spa, or cap off your day with food and drinks by the fire. And as a CityCast listener, you can treat yourself to 20% savings on your stay using the code CityCast. Plan your restorative stay at Salishan Coastal Lodge. Book now at salishan.com using code CityCast for 20% savings and start your journey to feeling refreshed and renewed. Hey there, it's Claudia. Before we start the show, just a friendly reminder that we're smack dab in the middle of our year-end membership campaign. You can support our show right now and get yourself a free CityCast Portland tote bag by heading to membership.citycast.fm. Today on CityCast Portland, we're talking about what our outgoing and incoming mayors are saying about the city's transition to its new form of government, the feathers Mayor-elect Keith Wilson might have already ruffled before his first day on the job, plus updates to stories and mail from you, our listeners. Joining me is our very own executive producer, John Notarianni. It's Wednesday, December 11th. I'm Claudia Meza, and this is what Portland's talking about. Welcome, everyone, to our midweek microdose of news. John, thank you for joining me this morning.
Good morning, Claudia.
If you're new to the show, today is the day we look at a local story and or updates to stories that we might have missed last week. For example, John, I have a quick update to a story from the summer about the Port of Portland's Terminal 6 container operation possibly shutting down. On Friday, the Oregonian reported that a tentative deal was announced later that day, and Harbor Industrial, which currently operates the terminal in partnership with the port, is going to become its long-term operator. Do you remember this story, John?
Totally, yeah. It's so funny. We never thought about the terminal in depth after going through and doing that story on the show. I don't know about you, but I became a diehard terminal supporter. Just be like, we need container shipping.
Yeah. Well, also, I feel like we both learned a lot more. Mm-hmm. The deal assumes that the port will receive $5 million in state support and another $20 million from the state for capital improvements, which seems lower than the $40 million previously discussed. I remember us saying, they're going to get $40 million. It's not happening there. So, John, they might have no funds to integrate your idea of moving all port deliveries to a jet ski only model. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful idea that you had.
Save it for the next administration, I guess.
Yeah. I still think they need to renovate an empty container into one of the hottest gay clubs in town, though. The Large Barge.
Sounds pretty cool.
I think it'd provide additional income.
Yeah. It's a service that Portlanders need.
Crush just closed, We're losing gay clubs right and left. I think that, listen, Port of Portland, it could be a pop-up. You don't have to commit to a full-time venue. Anyways, John, you were looking into how everything is going at City Hall.
Yeah.
With our new everything, really.
Yeah, and this is sort of off of a smattering of stories that different people have reported in the past week. Pat Doris at KGW, Alex Zielinski at OPB, Zane Sparling at the Oregonian. We're getting a new government, and they are working on it. They're pulling it together. So Ted Wheeler, current mayor, Keith Wilson, incoming mayor, got together and talked about how the transition's going. They say it's going well. Keith Wilson already has an office in a city building. He has been meeting with the new council members. He says he's had meetings with 7 of the 12 of them. So he says that he's going to step down from his job as CEO of the trucking company, Titan Freight, that he owns. He also says that he's going to be working 7 days a week at the start. But that last part is notable because the other headline that came out of all of this is that he shared a plan that he's going to require city employees to work at least 4 days a week in the office. The current mandate is about half time, 20 hours a week that they need to be in the office. And a lot of people who work at the city were not pleased about this. Apparently, he did it during a virtual town hall with like 1,400 city employees on the line. And I guess the reporting says that the chat in that meeting just blew up.
It just went off.
With people not being happy about going back to the office. You know, some union leaders have said that this is going to be a big problem. There's a lot of city employees who are not looking forward to being back in the downtown office.
I feel like if they had never worked at City Hall physically, it would be a shock. But this is something that's happened forever. This is something that has existed forever. And I get it because most of us we don't want to commute. And if you can do your job from home, why not? But I do wonder, though, if the city would have more of their offices open during the daytime rather than, I don't know, John, how often you have to go to the city for permits or anything, but everything is now via email or you call. You can't just show up.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I mean, like, to be honest, like, it's efficient, I think. Like, I'll get a response back. But at the same time, I guess my question is, like, would it make things better? Like, would it actually, make the city run smoother? The, like, worker in me is just like, God, no way. I'm not going back. I'm not even part of that. The citizen part of me is like, well, should maybe the city be open 4 days a week at the least? I don't know.
Yeah.
It sounds reasonable.
Yeah. I think the other question of all of this is just downtown, and of getting people working in the downtown core. A year ago, the current mayor, Ted Wheeler, sent out an open letter to like other downtown businesses asking them to bring people back to work at least half time, and there is a lot of concerns about the central business district, about like what that means for the city, and of having people working there is important to sort of keep businesses alive and just sort of maintain that vitality that we all think is really important. So I can sort of see that argument. Although if I were the person was told I need to go back to work downtown because the subway around the corner needs my business, I don't know how compelling I would find that argument.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't find it very compelling when it was told to us by Wheeler. I don't know why this new guy thinks we're going to listen to him. Well, I also find interesting, just speaking of like, when we think about our new mayor, we're thinking about like, oh, he's a maverick. He's coming from out of nowhere. Like he's just a man of the people. But like, this sounds a lot like Ted Wheeler. Not only that, I don't know if you saw the headline that just hit this morning, but he's keeping Michael Jordan, the admin, on for his tenure. He's just like, well, he's been running stuff. We're just going to keep this guy on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I get why, because he's like, well, he's already doing the job. Why am I going to mess that up? And like, I understand not wanting to rock the boat when you're just getting on the boat. Like, you don't want that boat being rocked.
Yeah. To that Michael Jordan point, I think that's really interesting too. And I feel like, we obviously talked a lot about the election, and like the new mayor, the new city council is going to have a really big impact on how our city government runs. But like this next phase is going to be maybe a little bit less high profile, but really interesting too. People like Michael Jordan, who's going to be the new city administrator going forward, is like a really interesting hire. I'm really curious to see what's going to happen with the city councilors and who they're hiring as chiefs of staff too, because with this new council, they have restructured it so that each council member has less staff. So that sort of chief of staff admin person is going to have a really big role in how these people sort of operate as council members. So that's something that I think is going to be really interesting to roll out over the next couple weeks and into the new year.
Do you think Sam Adams is going to find a way in there somehow?
I mean, he could, I mean, like, you say that, but like just the other day, Dan Ryan announced that his chief of staff is going to be Kezia Warner, who was a candidate for city council. So yeah, I think that we're going to see a lot of these names that we saw in the election recirculating through city government in the next month or so. And
I do want to say that when I'm like, oh, this sounds a lot like Ted Wheeler, I'm not at all raining on Keith Wilson's parade. I really am just like, well, that was his whole freaking template, of running is I'm not that guy. And I'm hearing a lot of that guy talk right now.
Yeah. I mean, at a certain point, I think, it's easy to talk big on the campaign trail, but when you get into office and have to make those decisions, it's a lot easier to be like, what makes sense? The idea that the last guy had, I now see the wisdom in that.
Yeah. Though I did read that Keith Wilson was talking about doing this even on his campaign trail. So yeah. So it's not like a surprise, Yeah. I'm surprised that the city workers were surprised.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a quick break here. And when we come back, we're diving into our listener mailbag. Profile Theater, one of Portland's oldest professional theater companies, is thrilled to be back with their 2024-2025 season featuring award-winning playwright Lauren Yee. This season, you're able to connect deeply with Lauren's groundbreaking work over a series of productions. This includes Samsara, one of Lauren's earliest plays, a satirical confrontation with modern-day colonialism and what to expect when you're expecting someone else's child. The season closes out with the Playwright Festival, where audiences meet and hear new work from the next season's top-secret featured playwrights. Memberships to the 2024-2025 season are available now. Head to profiletheater.org/memberships to become a member today, or head to profiletheater.org, that's profile, THEATRE.org, to learn more about the incredible Lauren Yee season.
Hi, David Plotz here. I'm the CEO of CityCast, and I'm here to ask you to become a member of CityCast in your city. CityCast is doing something no one else has ever tried. We're building a network of daily local podcasts and newsletters in cities around the country. My CityCast colleagues and I passionately believe that cities are incredible and that we can make them even better. So that's why we've got amazing, super local daily podcasts and newsletters made by locals, for locals in 13 cities. Little by little, every day, we're making our cities a little bit kinder, a little bit more interesting, more joyful, more informed. But this isn't easy or cheap. We've got 5 full-time employees just in your city. If you become a member, your financial support will help keep us bringing you what matters in your city. The news and events, the stories and controversies, the lists of the best ice creams and worst intersections. Please become a member today at membership.citycast.fm.
Welcome back. Before we get into our mailbag, John, I wanted to take a minute to chat you up about our end-of-year membership drive. I'm going to put you on the spot here because I feel like we just did this.
The membership drive, yeah.
Yeah. So what's your best pitch for why people should become members? Seriously, John, it's all on your shoulders now. Go.
Well, hopefully it's not based on my charm and wisdom, in which case we will get $0. I mean, I think a big part of what we do here at CityCast Portland is just getting beyond the super obvious chatter and bringing in stories and ideas and voices from people across our city that you might not otherwise hear, Claudia, I think about your interview from last month with Glenn Devitt, who trains and oversees the city's neighborhood emergency teams volunteers. That interview was great because it wasn't just describing a city department. It was really introducing our listeners to the people who could actually save their lives if there's an emergency. I think that that's really important. And I think that's a big part of what we do.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that interview as well. We have a member who just joined who testified that they like the way that they can stay informed about a wide variety of topics and subjects with commentary. So someone likes your wit and charm.
We got one.
and they went on and said, with CityCast, I could do all this rather than other sources that tend to focus on just one or two topics. And I have to agree. I love that we get to highlight stories from local reporters that I might have not made it past that 5K view because of so much information that we're constantly being barraged with. We get to be no, you should not miss this story, in Tuesday's conversation with Eliza Aronson, who looked into local illicit massage parlors and their connection to human trafficking right here in Multnomah County. Yeah. I don't know, John, but I had not heard of that. And that story came and went. And I think a lot of people were just like, I'm sorry, what now? You know?
Yeah.
And then we could just like jump from that over to like a super fun Kenton neighborhood guide, you know, that we did a couple weeks back with my friend Dave Blanchard. And I have to say, our neighborhood guide episodes are becoming my absolute favorite.
Oh, I know. Yeah. And I think that that's a fun part of what we do, right? We are really all a part of this city. But we need your help, you know, by becoming a member of CityCast Portland. You're investing in this journalism that like actually brings people together and, you know, dare I say, strengthens our community. But join us today, if you don't mind. You can do it at membership.citycast.fm.
Yeah.
And, you know, perks, bonuses, we do have a special offer for new members today. We've got tote bags, Claudia. Burr, burr, burr.
Saddest party call in a club I've ever heard, John.
Okay, let me try again. We've got tote bags. Burr, burr, burr. Was that better?
It's a little better.
But yeah, I mean, you know, they're super cute. And please become a member. Membership.citycast.fm.
Cool. Well, thank you, John, for taking that one. I really appreciate that. And thank you to everyone who has joined. Honestly, it's really humbling when you're just like, oh, thank you. Thank you for supporting this work. We really could not do it without all the support.
Yeah.
And another thing that I really enjoy about the show is that we get to listen to you, our listeners. So let's get into our mailbag. This one is about our viral show. Remember, John?
Viral moments. Yeah, that was a fun one.
Yeah. During one of Julia's moments, she was talking about Dame Time, and I asked out loud, oh, is this the one where Dame makes that face? And like, I knew that I was talking to a specific group who would pick up on what I was saying. You know, I think you both were like, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. But Michael Burles did. He wrote in, he was like, hi, love the show, longtime listener. I love the inclusion of Dame Time in the Viral Moments episode, but just wanted to clarify that he made that serious face after another momentous last second game winner and series decider versus Oklahoma City, April 23rd, 2019, as he launched this shot over the outstretched yet futile arm of a soon-to-be sad Paul George. It's just interesting to know there's so many Dame Times, you know?
When we were talking about it, that was sort of my thought. You're like, was it that one? I was like, well, there was a lot of them, so I don't know. Also from the Viral Moments show, I think there was one clip that multiple people pointed out that we did not include. Babs reached out and pointed it out. Downtown Mayor reached out and pointed it out. I'm just going to go for it. Roll the clip.
Back here live at the Waterfront Village with my friend, the zombie, Jonathan. You're looking good. Jonathan just got an awesome face paint job. What do you think?
I like turtles.
All right. You're great, zombie. And good times here at the Waterfront Village, open for the next 11 days.
That stumble from the announcer, like we both know that feeling where you're like, okay, you said that, now I gotta say something else.
Yep. A classic Portland moment, the zombie kid, I like turtles.
I actually did not even know that it was in Portland. I remember seeing that in social media, just in life, you know, out in life. Didn't know it was connected back to us. Emma wrote in response to our Kenton neighborhood guide. They say, thank you for sharing, Kenton. I have lived here quite a while, and I just had to write in for the date night Don't Skip Twilight Theater Company, which I've never heard of. It's on our side of Lombard, Winky Face. That was something we were discussing, trying to figure out which side of Lombard was Arbor Lodge or, you know, Kenton. They continue. It's a wonderful hole in the wall, and they do so many spectacular productions. They just did Sweeney Todd and are about to show Fezziwig's Fortune. You can tell I'm not a theater major. Fezziwig's Fortune.
Now I'm intrigued. We'll see you there, Emma. Thanks for the tip.
Yeah.
We also got a note from Foss, also about the Kenton neighborhood episode and about the Portland International Raceway. People love it. People hate it. People have all sorts of feelings about it. But Foss's point was, I thought the con that you mentioned about it would be the air pollution caused by their use of leaded fuel. I know the Kenton Neighborhood Association talks a lot about this, and I really don't know how much of it is a rumor and how much truth there is to the claims that the areas around the PIR are unsafe because of higher lead levels. It's an interesting take.
Yeah, I mean, not something hard to imagine.
Yeah.
I live by the Critical Energy Infrastructure Hub, and I actually started a smell log yesterday, John. Because it smells so weird. Like this today, it smells like burning oil and natural gas. It's 6 p.m. Why? you know?
Interesting. Yeah.
I've become that person, John. I have a journal.
I mean,
where I log smells in my neighborhood. I guess what I'm saying is like, I feel you, Foss.
Claudia's like, why does my house smell like microwave popcorn?
It's the outside, John.
I don't know.
It's the outside. Well, you guys, thank you so much for writing in. I mean, this is the thing about our show that I really love is I really do feel like we are a community. We're talking back and forth. You know, people get upset. People learn things. We're just kind of learning all together. And I really appreciate that about our show. You know, and I'm so happy I get to do it.
Yeah, I mean, thank you so much to everybody who's become a member, who's supported us, and even people who just write in and fill our inbox with takes and jokes. And, you know, we read all of it, and we really appreciate it. Before we head out, though, just a reminder, if you head to membership.citycast.fm, you can become a member right now, and we'd really appreciate it.
And you would be not only a really super cool and chill guy, you'll also be the owner of an equally cool and chill tote bag.
It's pretty cool.
This has been proven.
This is
science.
Can you tell that we've wanted tote bags for a long time? We are thrilled that we finally have tote bags for people. The public radio in us persists, Claudia.
I know. I was like, where am I supposed to carry all these things? My hands? All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone. And thank you, John, for hanging out with me this morning.
Yeah, this is fun. Thanks, Claudia.
Well, that's all for today here on CityCast Portland. Thanks so much for listening. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more from around the city. Until then, see you at Slim's.